Alex Hormozy, Cody Sanchez, Gary Vee. They're giving us all the tips and tricks of building wealth. But between the funnels, lead magnets, and landing pages, what is it that we actually need to build our personal brand? Welcome to the Brand Bridge, the podcast for women entrepreneurs, where we talk about identity, messaging, faith, mindset, entrepreneurship, and all the things that you need to build a compromise-free brand. My name is Melissa, and today we are going to be talking about the pressure to do all of the things in your business when you were trying to build and grow and scale. And so this was actually a question that came from one of my clients who just was saying, like, there's so much pressure, right? There's so much pressure for us to do all the things, especially when we see the Alex and Layla Hormozis, when we see the Gary V's, when we see, Cody Sanchez, all of these creators who are doing big things, who are telling us, post 3 times a day and do all this and do that. And you need to have a funnel and you need to have this and you need to have that landing page and you need to have all of these things. And so it kind of causes a pressure in you to build all of these things and build them all at once at the same time. And I work with a lot of people who are in a transitional phase in their business where they're either pivoting, they're rebranding, sometimes they are just really getting started. A lot of them are seasoned. They know what they're doing. They're experts. They don't have problems with that. But what they have problem with is the articulation of what that actually looks like, sounds like, and feels like when they're working with their own clients, when they want to work with better clients, the right clients, more aligned clients, when they want to get more opportunities and things of that nature. And so when you're going from kind of like you're at a crossroads and you have that decision to make of, what do I really feel aligned to? What is this internal alignment that is happening in me that is now going to show externally in what I'm doing in my business? And when you're at that point, then everything kind of feels new, right? It does feel exciting and it feels like, oh, wow, I'm taking this next step towards really making the impact and doing the big things that I feel called to do. However, there is the pressure to do everything at the same time. And like I said, we see all these big creators talking about how you need a funnel, how you need that lead magnet, how you need that digital product. You can sell a digital product, make passive incomes. What about a course? What about a podcast? What about all of these things? And they're all crossing our minds, and we're getting more and more ideas of how we can show up and how we can serve more and how we can make more. And it really comes from knowing what is the priority right now. Lately, I've been talking a lot in my content about when you know who you are and when you are aligned to what you feel called to do and who you feel called to serve, there's an ambition that comes with that. There's like this excitement that comes with that. There's a focus that comes with that. But you have to also understand, how do I make decisions now? Your decisions that you make come from that place of alignment. It comes from that place of knowing, this is what I feel called to do. This is what I'm excited about. This is what I want to create. This is what I want to build. This is the movement, not only a mission, but this is the movement that is coming out of me and that's going to benefit so many people. But in that decision making, there needs to be priorities. You have to know, what should I be focusing on right now in this moment to get me to where I need to be? So a lot of people get stuck on the messaging part. We don't always really identify that it is the messaging, that it is a lack of a message, that it is a lack of being positioned uniquely and well. We can't always recognize that, but it will show up in our business in different ways. It'll show up as, anxiety of going to even a networking event thinking, okay, what's my elevator pitch? How am I going to tell people what I do? The pressure to even feel the need to tell people what you do. It could look like creating content all the time and not really seeing any fruit of it, not really seeing any results of it. It could look like attracting the wrong types of clients, or the clients that you don't really feel called to serve or not fired up to serve. So it can look a lot of different ways when you don't have a very specific, consistent message that you're putting out there all the time. When your messaging, which is the words, the language that you're using for your ideal client to connect with you is off, when your messaging's off and not consistent, and when you're not positioned uniquely and well. There's so many people who do what you do. There's a ton, and there's a ton of people who do what I do, but they can't be me. They can't be you. So what is the unique perspective? What is your unique approach of how you do what you do and how you help people solve the problem that they're looking for? People are searching. They're searching for the answers to the problems that they have. And you are one of the people that have the answer. And by the way that you show up, articulate, and share your point of view, people are going to know, okay, she's the one for me. That's who I need to be talking to. So there's all these missing pieces that we don't realize are coming from that core foundation. There's I say that I'm a foundation, crack filler. There's cracks in the foundation. And because when there's cracks in the foundation, we can all imagine a house that has cracks in the foundation. It's unstable, right? It's not secure. But when you fix those cracks and okay, now everything that I'm building on top of this is going to be firm, then you can go forward with more boldness, with a different kind of effort and a different kind of ease. So going back to say that it's about understanding what the priorities are. What should you fix or focus on first before you make all the funnel, before you make the lead magnet? You need to know, why does my business exist? Why does your business exist? You have to answer that question. Who are you here to help? What is the struggle, the problem, the desire that you are here to meet or fix or help with? And who are the people that need that? And we often think that, well, I know who my ideal client is. My ideal client is this or that, but we haven't really gotten to the heart or the meat of it. The other problem is that we know in our mind what our clients need, but they know what they want. They know what their problem is, and they are looking for a solution for that problem. So what happens a lot of times is that we keep talking about what they need. It's like, yeah, you need this. It's going to fix the problems. You need this. You need this. And so we speak to people who aren't problem aware or solution aware. We're trying to convince people that it's like, well, this is what your problem is and this is how you fix it, instead of speaking to what they know they need, because of the nuances of what you do and all of the things and all of the pieces of what you do. You know that your clients need that, but they don't. And that's how people get tripped up in their messaging, is because they think, oh yeah, but I need to talk about this, but I need to talk about that, but also this, but also that. And so there's so many pieces that we feel like we need to talk about when our clients aren't looking for those extra pieces and the little nuances that they will get from working with you. We have to remember that we know everything about well, not everything, but we know a lot about what we do and how we fix the problems, but our clients don't. And that's why they're looking for a solution in a language, in a way that makes sense for them. We talk so much. We try to prove our expertise in different ways, but our clients don't need to know that. They just need to know, and you need to answer the question, can you help me? This is my problem. Can you help me? And through your content, through conversations, through even when people refer you, you have to make sure that the language of of your ideal client is coming out of your mouth and even a referral's mouth, so that when people come to you, they know, yeah, I know that you help with XYZ, and this is exactly what I need help with. So especially if you're pivoting or you're rebranding and now your offer isn't quite exactly what it was before, now you kind of need to double down on getting that message out there and getting it right. So, funnels, lead magnets, digital offers, all of these things are good, and you need them, but you need to know what should you prioritize first. So before you get clear on a digital product, a lead magnet, all these things, you have to get clear on what is your offer. You have to get clear on how do you help people. You have to get clear on what is your message, what is your story. And this gets answered by action, by doing, by speaking, by sharing, by working with people. And we get so quick to want to make that lead magnet. We get so quick to, because of all the things that we're seeing about how you can make money passively, digital products, affiliate links, um, through our lead magnet. And then you have to have a funnel and you have to have people on your email list. And there's so many things that we get bogged down with and just like cloud our mind, and we just don't know where to start anymore. Think about, what is my priority now? What do I need to get better at? What do I need to understand? What do I need to know right now in this season of business that I'm in order to then take the next step to get to where I want to go, or where I see my business is going, or where I want my business to going, or what my mission is. You have to learn how to prioritize. You have to learn how to make business decisions based on who you are and where you are in your business right now. So it's good to be inspired by some of these bigger creators because they show us what is possible. And for you too, you can show your clients. And I think it is part of what we do, is to show people what is possible when they work with us, when they see our business, even if they don't end up working with us, but just to be that example of, you don't have to be stuck where you are. You can move on with clarity, with feeling light, with walking in some kind of effortlessness. And I know that that word kind of can feel sometimes like, it's like, well, you have to do work in your business. You have to do this and you have to do that. But what I mean by effortlessness is that in our businesses, there should be no sorrow. You shouldn't be creating a business and now you're upset all the time. You feel frustrated all the time. You feel sad. I mean, there are tears sometimes in business, but like, if your business is bringing you sorrow, if your business is bringing you more headaches and more challenges, in bad ways, because we can be challenged, but it can be bringing us to a place of growth, right? But if it's bringing sorrow with what you're doing, then I would say take a step back and analyze what you're doing, and where where was the misalignment, because sometimes our intention is good, We started off in the right way. We started off with the right thinking and the right path, but then shiny objects. We see other people in our industry maybe doing something that we want to do or wish that we were doing, and we can get off track because now we're looking over at them and thinking, oh, okay, oh, I should be doing that. Oh, I need a funnel. Okay, I need a funnel. I need a new CRM. I need a new website. I need a new XYZ. But it's like we have to start with the first things first and make sure that that foundation is clear and make sure that foundation is solid. And it needs to be revisited, just like a house that's been standing for 60, 70, 80 years. You need to check the foundation. We had a problem with our foundation. This house is like, how old is this house? Like, yeah, this house is like 60, 70 years old. And we did a few years ago have someone come and literally fix the cracks in our foundation because there was cracks and leaks were coming in and things were, so it's not to say that you set it and forget it. No, you're growing, you're changing, you're becoming, you are expanding, you are, shooting for things bigger now. You're not playing small and you don't want to play small. So yes, you need to revisit, am I still aligned to what I feel called to do? Or am I realigning now to where I'm going and where I feel like I'm going and I'm supposed to be going? That is so important. So, what is the moral of the story? The moral of this story is that we have to learn how to prioritize the first things first and then know what the next steps are. You need to be clear on step 1 before you're going to do 2, 3, 4, and 5. So if you're feeling pressure to like, oh, I need a funnel. Oh, I need to do a new lead magnet. Oh, I need to do a digital product. Okay, let me think of one. What should I do? What should I sell? If you're kind of thinking all these things, I would say first, see if you're still aligned to where you're going and where you want to go and if the clients are right and if the thing that you're offering is right, the approach is right. Because if all of these other things are leading people to work with you, when you get somebody that's going to work with you, but you don't actually know what your process and your approach is, but you've, sold all these things to people who are now wanting to be in your community, in your ecosystem, in your world, and now you don't know how to serve them well, then that is a bigger problem because now they're not going to get the results that you said you're going to do. And that's part of a personal brand. And a brand is the promise. What is the promise that you are giving people? The way I think about a personal brand is this. I don't think about a personal brand as what you do. A personal brand, and this is my perspective, is about who you are. A personal brand is not about what you're doing, because if it ever changes, if what you do ever changes and you put all your stock in that, then who are you at the end of the day? Now you got to completely pull a Madonna and retransform yourself every few years, because now it's like, well, now I'm this person and now I'm that person. But I believe that the core of who you are is always consistent. There's always this piece of you that you've had since you were little up until now that is just a part of who you are. And yes, we change and we become and we grow and we mature and we get more wisdom. But that's what your personal brand should be rooted in. It should be rooted in who you are always, because that influences who comes into your world, into your community, what you do. It guides all of your decision making. And so it's really important for all of us to get that. I had to learn that in my journey, and I'm still learning about it in my journey, but I really encourage for you to know that, because once you know that, okay, it's 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 me, it's okay to be me and to become who I see myself to be, and then your business just becomes an external expression of that. And so if you decide not to do it anymore, you decide to close it down, if it doesn't do well, if it does amazing, you're not attaching yourself to the outcome of what the business is doing, because your worth and who you are is already validated. You don't have to get validation of who you are. You just need to walk boldly in who you are and who you've been created to be. That is so important for you to know. And I hope that you carry that with you in your next decision making, in your next sit down with yourself, with the CEO, which is you, to sit down and to prioritize what actually do I need to do right now? Do I need to get better at creating content that connects to my clients? Do I need to get better at just writing and showing up in a way that feels aligned to me? Do I need to get better at having conversations to be able to express myself so that if I get asked to be on a podcast, I actually am so rooted in my message that it just flows out of me? Do I need to do a fun? Maybe you are at the stage where you're like, you know what, I really have these things set. And now I feel ready to make a new lead magnet, to make a funnel, to get my website representing who I am now and not who I was 3 years ago. So I hope that this podcast is giving you, and this episode is giving you the tools, the resources, and the permission just to show up and show up for yourself. So if this episode resonated with you and you're realizing, you know what, I think I need more clarity in my message, in my messaging, I created a free brand clarity quiz, and the link is in the description, that you can take to see what exactly is the next step that you should be refining in your business. And like I always say, I hope that you live with heart, lead with purpose, and do both compromise free. Until next time, bye.